Delegation skills. You quickly figure out what you don't want to do and hand it off to someone else. You're comfortable saying, "Can you handle this?" People call it passing the buck or avoiding responsibility. But here's the reality. You're demonstrating core leadership instinct, knowing what requires your attention and what doesn't. Good leaders don't do everything themselves. They identify who's best suited for each task. Lazy people develop this skill early because they have high motivation to offload work. That forces them to assess what's truly essential, what can someone else do, what's not worth doing at all. Most managers struggle with delegation because they feel guilty or think it's faster to do it themselves. You don't have that problem. You want it off your plate, so you get good at handing things off efficiently. Warren Buffett has a famous two-list strategy. Write down your top 25 goals, circle the top 5, then avoid the other 20 at all costs. That's lazy brain thinking, ruthlessly cutting what doesn't matter so someone else can handle it or it doesn't happen at all. Steve Jobs was notorious for this. He'd kill entire projects that didn't meet his standard because he refused to waste energy on mediocre work. The next time someone accuses you of dumping work, remind them that CEOs don't answer their own emails. Delegation isn't laziness. It's resource allocation at scale. It's recognizing that your time has value. Improved prioritization. You naturally filter out pointless tasks. You ignore busy work. You don't respond to every email or attend every meeting. People think you're disengaged or don't care about the details. In reality, you're practicing ruthless prioritization. Separating signal from noise because you refuse to waste energy. Most people drown in busy work because they treat all tasks equally. Lazy people can't afford that. Limited energy means brutal triage. You instinctively ask, does this move the needle? Will this matter tomorrow? If not, it gets ignored. This is the Eisenhower matrix in action. Urgent versus important. Hardworking people respond to urgency. Lazy people only respond to importance. That's not apathy, that's clarity. Tim Ferriss built an empire on this concept with the 4-hour workweek. Eliminate, automate, delegate. The entire philosophy is structured laziness, cutting everything that doesn't create disproportionate results. Research shows the average office worker is only productive for about 2 hours and 53 minutes per day. The rest is meetings, emails, and busy work. Your laziness already knew this. You've been ignoring the fluff all along. Parkinson's law states that work expands to fill the time available. Lazy people don't let that happen. They compress work into the smallest possible window. So when you ignore that low priority email, you're not being rude. You're protecting your bandwidth for things that actually matter. That's not lazy. That's strategic focus. Minimalist decision making. You avoid unnecessary choices. You stick with what works. You don't overthink options or chase every possible optimization. People say you're not exploring enough or settling for good enough. But here's what's happening. Doing less forces a lean mindset. Cutting complexity because it's exhausting. Decision fatigue is real. Every choice drains mental energy, even small ones. Studies show that after making too many decisions, your willpower and judgment deteriorate. Lazy people instinctively minimize decision points. They wear the same outfit, eat similar meals, follow simple routines. Steve Jobs, Mark Zuckerberg, Barack Obama all did this. Not because they lack creativity, but because they refuse to waste cognitive load on trivial choices. Laziness creates mental clarity by eliminating noise. Psychologist Barry Schwartz researched the paradox of choice and found that too many options leads to paralysis and dissatisfaction. Lazy people avoid this trap naturally. They pick good enough, fast, and move on. No second guessing, no endless comparison shopping, no analysis paralysis. Just decide and done. Einstein reportedly bought multiple versions of the same gray suit so he wouldn't waste brain power on clothing decisions. That's not eccentricity. That's cognitive resource management. Next time someone criticizes your lack of variety, tell them you're optimizing for mental bandwidth. That simple routine? That's not boring. That's executive function conservation in action. Your brain thanks you. Better work-life balance. You protect your free time. You don't check emails after hours. You actually take your weekends off. People say you're not dedicated enough or don't have the grind mindset. Wrong. You're instinctively protecting rest, recovery, and downtime, the things that keep humans functional long-term. Hustle culture treats rest as weakness, but neuroscience disagrees. Your brain needs downtime to consolidate memories, process emotions, and repair neural pathways. Sleep, leisure, and doing nothing aren't optional. They're biological requirements. Lazy people honor this naturally. They resist the trap of performative overwork because rest feels non-negotiable. Elite athletes know this. Recovery is where growth happens. You don't build muscle in the gym. You build it while resting afterward. Your refusal to grind 24/7 isn't lack of ambition. It's sustainable performance design. Study after study shows diminishing returns after 50 hours of work per week. Past that, productivity tanks and errors spike. Your laziness caps you at sustainable output. The grinders crash. Countries with shorter work weeks like Denmark and the Netherlands consistently rank highest in productivity and happiness. Meanwhile, America's hustle culture leads the developed world in stress-related illness. So when someone brags about working 80-hour weeks, remember they're not winning. They're courting burnout. Your work-life balance isn't lazy. It's intelligent system design that keeps you operational for decades, not months. You're playing the long game. Burnout immunity. You pace yourself. You don't sprint constantly. You take breaks even when it feels like everyone else is pushing harder. People think you lack intensity or commitment, but here's the truth. Consistent, low-effort pacing prevents the crash and burn cycle. Laziness builds sustainable rhythm. Burnout isn't just exhaustion, it's physiological breakdown. Chronic stress depletes neurotransmitters like dopamine and serotonin, weakens the HPA axis, and triggers inflammatory responses. High achievers hit a wall after months or years of maximum effort. Lazy people never reach that cliff because they operate at sustainable intensity. They're not tortoises racing hares. They're systems engineers who know that consistent 70% beats erratic 100% followed by collapse. Marathon runners don't sprint the whole race. Your laziness understands this instinctively. Research shows that people who maintain moderate effort levels across their careers outlast and often outperform those who cycle between burnout and recovery. The World Health Organization officially recognized burnout as an occupational phenomenon in 2019. It's a medical diagnosis now, not just being tired. Symptoms include exhaustion, mental distance from your job, and reduced professional efficacy. Your sustainable pace protects you from that. Studies show it takes an average of 2 years to fully recover from severe burnout. 2 years. Next time someone tells you to give 110%, remind them that's mathematically impossible and biologically destructive. Your sustainable pace isn't lazy. It's the only way to stay in the game long term.